Hello and welcome to Beijing, the capital city of China, and welcome to the famous Beijing Hutongs. So the Beijing Hutongs are the old neighborhoods of the city of Beijing that have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. And here we are in the middle of which is South Luo Alley, which is one of the major popular tourist attractions in Beijing. Most of the folks you see here walking are not Beijing people. These are folks visiting Beijing. It's a major tourist destination in China, trying to get a feel for the old style of the city. The architecture is the traditional neighborhood architecture. But this particular alley, which extends several kilometers north and south, north of the Forbidden City, really does give you a sense of what the architecture looks like, but the shops and the stores, of course, are rather new. So if you're looking to take a tour of the Hutongs of Beijing, I probably would not necessarily suggest this one. This is a good place for shopping, for getting a meal, and for people watching, but it doesn't really give you a sense of what the Hutong lifestyle is all about. If you want to get that sense, down these side alleys here, you can really get a better feel. But I'm going to show you some other spots in Beijing where you can really get a sense of what life was like hundreds of years ago in these places.
I've never been. Yeah, you know I'm putting videos on YouTube. To the Hutong? Yeah.
So this is a map to the central popular Hutong. It's right in the center of town. You can see on the bottom there the Forbidden City. And the easiest way to find yourself at this Hutong is to take the metro, the Beijing Metro, and you can see here the stop is named for the alleyway, Nanlu Guoxiang. I believe that's line 8. Pretty easy to get to.
Yeah.
So you definitely going to want to be careful in this part of town with your wallet and keep it in your front pocket. It's a touristy area. The shops are a little overpriced, but if you're buying food or you're buying a drink, you're not getting ripped off too badly. But do watch yourself and watch your wallet as well. If you're going to get pickpocketed in China, this is the kind of place where you're going to get pickpocketed. So this guy is doing a sort of a traditional piece of art food. He is using some sort of sugary substance to make animals, and It's about 20 or 30 quiet, looks like, per animal, and I wouldn't call it the most sanitary thing in the world, but if you want to buy one for your child or eat one yourself, they're great. Where I live in Chengdu, we do these as well, and but they're more like sculptures. They're not not blown, like hand blown animals like that. They're just like butterflies and birds and stuff. They're just hand sculpted. This is a kind of a neat find. This is apparently the oldest continually operating bike repair shop in Beijing. It dates back into the early 1970s to the Cultural Revolution period. It's sort of one of the first privately owned businesses, I guess, in China after the Cultural Revolution. So pretty cool. You got some locusts here, that awfully cool looking dog, and yeah, enjoy.
This is the Beijing Hutongs. It's kind of off the beaten path. It's not the usual tourist hutong. Kind of neat, quiet, bustling streets of Beijing. But here you have the Beijing of 500 years ago, 600 years ago. The entire city of Beijing was built like this. Primarily by Genghis Khan, not himself, but his dynasty. Give you a sense of what it's like to walk through here. A lot of old families still own these houses, but of course recently there's a lot of interest in this style of living, so people with more means have come in, and you'll see sometimes where they've bought a few of the houses. So inside these walls you find these old style Chinese courtyard houses. This is the bathroom. You have public bathrooms because there was no plumbing in these hutongs. So the bathrooms are outside, very closely spaced together, kept up by the folks in the neighborhood because they use them. Right. You can see in there's several houses. And some people, in some hutongs, they've bought up several of these, and they'll make like a bed and breakfast, some restaurants, stuff like that. Most of the folks in the neighborhood here in general are older because they've sold their, they've lived here for generations, and their kids have sort of moved out because the style of living doesn't appeal to people in their 20s and 30s. But again, like everything, it's retro, so it gains a lot of popularity. So I'll show you a couple more videos here in the hutong. Again, this is one that's out of the way. I'll try to put a map up so if people are visiting Beijing, they can find it. It's not like the regular ones that I have other videos of.
And I've just got some still shots that I took with my cell phone here in that same hutong. These are courtyard houses, traditional Chinese courtyard houses. So the main entrances are opened up, and I just love sort of being able to look into people's lives that way. It's sort of a neat feature of the hutong life that you don't see elsewhere.
a little more busy part of the same Hutong. The main street, shops and stuff. Restaurants, the market, some bread, which is very popular in Beijing. You don't find good bread much in China, but in the north, definitely really good bread. In a lot of ways, you know, it's an exaggeration, but this in a lot of ways has been unchanged since the founding of Beijing. I mean, since the 14th century, this sort of style of living with the marketplace. Obviously, there's a lot of things that are different, but in a lot of ways, it's the same. And again, this is not anything like the rest of China. You know, this is not like, you see this video and you think, wow, that's China. Okay, it's not China. This is unique to Beijing for the most part. I mean, every major city will have little neighborhoods like this, but yeah, it's not indicative of what China is. It's what China used to be, for sure.
A little map I found on the street here that gives you a sense of what these courtyard houses look like from a bird's eye view. You know, each little square there is several different homes.
So this is an example of a part of this Hutong that has sort of been, in America we'd use the term gentrified, where folks have come in and opened up like sort of like boutique style businesses, hotels and stuff. So you get these sort of very nice stores that people have invested money. Oh look, it's Pepe the Frog. White supremacy reigns in China.
The money in
Frog's mouth, yeah, the money in Pepe's mouth there. So yeah, this is the example where, you know, someone's come in and they've renovated, changed the style a little bit, and made it an area, you know, that's going to attract a different, you know, sort of tourist clientele. And here's a coffee shop right here, which is actually what we were looking for. Yeah, it says coffee and dessert though too. But again, this is in the same old Hutong neighborhood.
So this is an example of one of these businesses that you're finding more and more in China. This is a coffee shop. Coffee is big now in China. It sort of came to China through Korea, where coffee has been a big part of the culture for a while. And so, you know, this is a place where you get, you know, your like boutique special coffee for 35 RMB, or, you know, about the price of a Starbucks, you know, special coffee. It's pretty good, and a selection of beer here. Sort of an artsy coffee house, very quiet, in this middle of this Hutong. So this Hutong is not very far at all from the Temple of Heaven, and also not too far from the other Hutong we were in. So south of the Forbidden City and northwest of the Temple of Heaven, you can see here. This whole area is where we were filming that last bit. You can see all these little small alleyways and such. So great place to explore. Not too well known, and a real example of Beijing Hutong. The subway stop is right over here, as you can see. I'm zooming in. Hepingmen. And that's the best stop. So check it out when you get a chance. So welcome to famous Ojai Lake in Beijing. Ojai Lake is actually a Hutong. very old one, but it doesn't feel like a hutong. It feels like, you know, a bar and nightclub area, which is what it actually really is. Great place to come walking. Again, like other popular tourist destinations in Beijing, you really want to watch your wallet here in Ojai. There's another section here along the lake. You can take paddle boats out here during the day or at night. Lots of great restaurants and bars. And here you can get a little look at famous pastime of Beijing, what we call square dancing. Not because it's actually square dancing, but because it's done in public squares. So this is a dance class. It's a free dance class for folks in Beijing. You find this in every Chinese city. Usually middle-aged, older women, sometimes men, doing some dancing. So Ojai Lake is very, very easy to find also, again, in really central Beijing here. As you can see, north of the Palace Museum, walking distance. And this whole lake area is Ojai. You just walk right around it all the way up, if you like. And there's a couple different metro stops to get there. But fairly popular tourist destination. And you could walk there from Nanlu Guoxiang, just head right over there. So very, very easy to get to. Or Beihai North. I hope you've enjoyed this little tour of the Beijing Hutongs. I'd like to thank my wife Huang Rai for taking me to some of these out-of-the-way places that by myself I probably wouldn't be able to find. If you'd like to check out some of my other videos, you can see them popping up all over the screen here. And thanks again for watching, as always. Have a great day.